Hello, how are you? Welcome to Code Viber. Today we are going to look at dark mode. We are going to look at adding dark mode feature to your website using Tailwind CSS. It's super easy, very few lines of code. Tailwind CSS has made this super easy for developers to use because users do love using dark mode. So I'll go right into it. I'm going to create a project, a React project. I can use this example from Tailwind CSS website. All right, you're going to name it dark light mode, but you can give your folder any name. And that's how we use template React. Right, I'll open this in VS Code so that we can see what we have. We already have some code generated for us. You're supposed to do an install. That's why I got that error. So you're supposed to install the base packages that will enable you to run the basic application. Okay, let's test to see if it's running. Let's make sure that it's running. Localhost 5173, good. So we're good, it's running without any errors. Now we're going to remove any unnecessary files that we don't need. We don't need that file, and we do not need any code in our index.css file. I'll keep the index.css as our main CSS file. Let me just rename our title to match our topic today. I will remove any unnecessary imports to keep our code clean. So in app.jsx, we had this code here. So we're going to remove it. We do not need it for in our example. And I'm going to keep the use state import because we will use it later. Good. Now let's go to installing Tailwind CSS and the Tailwind CSS Vite plugin. So we are using Vite as our development server. So that's why we need the Tailwind CSS plugin. Good. We've installed Tailwind CSS dependency. Let's go ahead and set up the plugin. Let's enable the plugin in our code. Good. Make sure that it's imported from the @Tailwind CSS Vite plugin. Okay, good. Now, all this information is also on the Tailwind CSS website. So we need to import Tailwind CSS. So this imports all the utilities and components you need. So you don't need to do several imports. Okay, we're going to test to see that if this is working. Let's test to see if Tailwind CSS classes are already working. All right, I'll just use this example on Tailwind CSS website. It should be underlined and bold if it works. Let's see. Hello world. Good. Hello world. Underline and bold. So our classes are good. Our classes are running. Wonderful. So I'm going to create a component. So most of the times you'll get a button to toggle dark mode on your website. So I'm going to create to use the same example here. So I'll use a ready-made bootstrap button. Okay, I'll use a ready-made bootstrap button. I'm going, no need to start from scratch. Let me do the import, and there we go. Okay, so I've just used the bootstrap already made button. Okay. All right, now we need to add this to our app so that we can see it in the browser. Theme button. Okay, let me no text. Okay, let me add some content for you to see. This is an example button. Okay, yes, good. Our button is good and ready to go. So we're going to start tracking. Let's start by tracking the theme state, the theme state string. Okay, let's start by tracking whether the string that's currently stored is either dark or light. Okay, and we have three objectives in this tutorial. One of the objectives is to locally, within our theme button file, to track or to manually toggle between dark mode and light mode, but within our theme button file, not in a different file. Okay, so that's our first. So that's our first objective, to manually toggle dark mode and light mode within our theme button file. The second step is to remember from local storage, so that when you leave the site and come back, it will still remember your theme. And the third and final theme or objective is to load, is to move, sorry, is to move the theme context from our file into a global React context. Okay, let's go. Let's start right away. So this is the first objective, to track theme locally within the file, that is. Okay. So when theme is light, and the string that tracks theme, when it says light, we're going to show a moon emoji. Otherwise, we're going to show a sun emoji. This shows you turn on dark or turn on light. Okay, there we go. Now let's create a method to actually help you toggle between dark mode and light mode. Okay, we're going to call our method toggle theme. There we go. All right, so let's start by making sure that this works. Let's start by tracking the string light, the light string or dark string. Here we go, light. Otherwise, set it to dark. Okay. Good. So when you click this, it should change between. Okay. We actually need to not return, really. Oh, we actually need to put this. We've forgotten to. Oh, yeah, I see that. We've forgotten to link this action with our button. Now we've linked it. Now it's good. It now changes when you click. It now already changes the emoji to the content. It changes the content. Good. So we've done the first step. The second step is to actually enable dark mode and light mode. It's actually enable the dark mode and light mode tailwind CSS classes. We'll start with this. If you go to tailwind CSS dark mode, if you go to their website, there is this custom variant we need to import. We need to, yes, we need to import our custom variant dark. Okay, and we need to add a few lines of code for CSS to apply to the base elements, that's HTML and body. So I'm going to add the transition to the HTML. We have some transition. Then we're going to add the dark mode and light mode colors to the body. Okay, we're going to add it to the body. So if it's in light mode, it's showing to it should be white, and if it is in dark mode, if we have a dark class, let's use gray, dark gray, not completely black, but almost bluish or grayish. Okay, for the text also, if it is in light mode, we're going to show text gray, almost black. And if it is in dark mode, we're going to show almost white text in light mode. Okay, in dark mode, sorry. Okay, so this is the few lines of code you need to add the classes. The CSS we need for the first one is transition to the entire HTML document, and the second one is the actual colors for dark mode and light mode. Okay, good. Here we are. Then we need a method to add a class. You can actually add. You can choose any way of adding the class to our document. Okay, as long as you add it to the base documents, you can either add it to the HTML document or to the body element. Okay, you can add it to any element. So this is completely, however you choose to add the dark class, it's upon you. Okay, so I'm going to choose for our for the first iteration of our objectives, I'm going to use the toggle method. All right, so the toggle method basically checks if you already have the string existing. If we do have the string existing, it removes it. If the string does not exist, it adds it. Okay, and then I'm going to select the HTML document. Okay, so the HTML document called document element. So that's the entire HTML document, and I'm going to use the toggle method of class list to add our string. Okay, so it's just basically going to check, is the string existing? If it does, remove it. If it does not, add it. Okay, all right, there we go. And yes, that's we've achieved our first objective. We can now toggle dark mode and light mode on. Okay, and if you check, let's check, inspect the element, you see it adds the class, the dark class, to the entire HTML document. All right, good. Now let's go to our second objective. We need to store this string in the local storage. Okay, let's store it in our local storage. So let's start by doing let's initialize this. We're going to we're going to set to track our theme by first checking the local storage. If we don't have that string in local storage, we're going to default to light mode. Okay, so we're going to get the string. We're going to get the theme string from local storage. Okay, then it's okay. We're doing a return. Let's return local storage dot get item theme. That's supposed to be theme. Okay, and if it does not exist, you default to light. Okay, so if that's not there, I mean, if local storage dot get item theme does not return anything, go ahead and use light. Okay, now we're going to change from using the toggle method. Okay, we will use different classes for this because we don't want to toggle anymore, but we want to remove and add. Okay, we want to either remove it and add it. You can go to MDN class list methods. We have these two methods, add and remove. Okay, then let me do some cleanup. Okay, good. Then we're going to use effect so that this loads when you visit the site. Okay, it loads on visiting the site. Let me add some comments here. Toggle theme manually. Good. Then load theme on loading website. I mean, when you visit the site, it's supposed to load it. Use effect. Okay. And then it's also supposed to load the theme when the theme string changes. So if it changes to dark, it's going to refresh. If it changes to light, it's also going to refresh using use effect. Okay, here we go. So our dependent, our changing constant is theme. Okay, good. All right, let's we're going to use an if statement. So if theme is dark, we're going to add dark to the document, to the HTML element. And if it's light, if theme changes to light, we're going to remove the dark string, okay, the dark class from our HTML element. All right, then we're going to store the new state of theme. We're going to store the new state of theme in local storage. Okay, let's just test this. I want you to see the difference. If you are not tracking, if we are not loading from local storage, okay, when you toggle theme on, then refresh, you see we've lost our string. Okay, we're no longer tracking it on refresh. That's why it does not, when you refresh, it does not return to dark mode. Okay, now to fix this, we're going to use local storage. Okay, now on refresh, let's refresh. Good. The theme remains in the last state, in the original state. It remains in the last state you left it at when you refresh or visit away from the website. All right, let me show you. You should make sure that it's here. Good, it's in local storage. You see it updates on changing, and on refresh it remains dark or light. Okay, okay, good. So that's it. Our second iteration of our objectives complete. Now we're basically going, so in an application, normally you usually have several contexts. Okay, so one of the context could be your theme context actually. So it's good to, okay, depending on your application needs, you can actually move the context to the end. You can move it global. I mean, remove it from the theme button and make it available to the entire project. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a context and a provider, a context and a theme provider. And you can find all this information on the React Dev website. Okay, we have examples of how you can do this, of how you can create context on this website. It's a good resource to look at. Okay, So let me go ahead and create theme context using this method, create context. That's a React method, okay? It's a built-in React method for use. That's it. That's how you simply create a context, okay? Then we're going to create, the next thing to do is to create a provider. Right, we don't have, let's see, let's search provider. All right, here we have our provider. This is an example use. Okay, so a provider, instead of using our theme context and passing the value theme, a provider a provider actually, you don't need to pass value theme to a provider, okay? Let me show you. Here we go. This is our theme provider. We're going to pass it down to whatever elements we have, okay? So that's the children. Then we're basically going to move our code, the exact code from theme button, we move it into our context, okay? So we're just going to copy paste into our theme context. So we're not doing anything regarding theme. We're not doing anything different. We just moving this code from our theme button into our context. So we're not going to change anything. So that code is already working. We just, right now, we are only moving it into context. Let me rename this. Oh God, I can't spell. Context. Yeah, that's how we do it. All right. So that's our initialization from local storage, the method to actually toggle the theme. We don't need this anymore. We don't need the toggle method anymore. So that's how the method to put an action to the button, the toggle method. And then our use effects, okay. All right, wonderful, good. Then a context in React, it's actually just like any other component. So we need a return statement. Before we do that, let me clean up this code. All right, let me do the inputs, use effect and use state. All right, and then we need a return statement to return our context, okay? So a context, in our case, in this example, is basically an object with the toggle theme, with the toggle method, and the theme string, okay? So theme context dot provider. So this enables us to just wrap our element into a theme provider without passing down this value here shown on the left, okay? Okay, good. So we return our provider, and then we're going to create a hook. I use theme hook, okay? So normally, depending on the size of your application, you could create it in a different folder called hooks, okay? But this is a small project. We can also just declare it right here. Okay, we can create our hook right in this theme context file. All right, so use theme. So we are going to use the React create context, use context method. Okay, so our context is equals to use context, and we pass it a theme context. Okay, good. It's also good when creating your themes. It's also good to check that they're being used in the right place or right location. So if you do not have a theme, if our context is not used within, if our theme is not being used within a theme context, okay, we can now throw this error. Use theme must be used within a theme provider. Okay, so if you're using it outside a theme provider, if you're trying to access theme or the toggle theme outside of a theme provider, it's going to show you this error. I'll show you. Let me show you what I mean. Let's clean up this code. We no longer need those notes. Good. Okay, clean up the imports as well. All right, let's go. Now, so we no longer using use state. We basically importing theme and toggle theme this time. Okay, and use theme, the hook we just created, use theme. Wonderful. Okay, so let me show you. Yes, make sure that that's been imported. Use theme. Okay, pass down to our button action. Okay, so let's come to the console. You see, use theme must be used within a provider, and this is because I've not actually passed down the theme provider to our components. Okay, to whatever components we're supposed to pass down to, we've not provided this. Okay, let me just update that. Good. So use theme must be used within a theme provider. Okay, so we need to pass down the theme provider to our components. Okay, so we just wrap our app because I want it to be used globally. So I decided to use it globally. Okay, but you can actually use it anywhere else. It's still okay. Okay. All right. I also ran into this error because I was using the theme provider for Bootstrap. So in case you run into such an error, just check the import. Okay, good. All right, and that is it. Our website is fully dark mode enabled. Remember to subscribe, turn on your notifications for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.